Hey everybody, it's me again, B. Hello. I'm so glad you're here again. Let me start off by saying thank you so much for the continued likes and views and comments on my video. It's absolutely made my year, and we're only in February. It's just, I can't still not wrap my head around how this all just took off like that. Thank you. That's all I can say. I have no words to tell you how it makes me feel. It's just really awesome. You guys are awesome. I also want to say a hello to all the new subscribers. There's a whole lot of you. Thank you so, so much for subscribing and for taking a chance on me and, for wanting to find out more. It's just unbelievable. So I was thinking, since there are so many new subscribers, that maybe an intro video would be a good idea so you guys get to know me a little better. And if you leave me comments down below, I can get to know you a little better, and that would be really great, and it would make me very happy. Just, tell me stuff about you. What are your hobbies? What are you working on right now? What do you like to do? Just generally, whatever you want me to know about you would be great. It would make this whole thing feel so much more like community. Right, so got my tea. I hope you have some too. I hope this video isn't going to be too long. I'll try to keep it to a minimum. I'm also trying to get through all the requested videos one by one as they come in. Thank you so much for doing that, for letting me know what you would like to see, what you would like to know more about. It's just absolutely brilliant, because sometimes I sit here and I'm thinking, I have no idea what to do, or if anybody's even interested. And you telling me, okay, I would like to see this, or I would like to know more about that, is just fantastic. It gives me ideas, and it's just really great. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it a lot. So today's video is just going to be a little about me. And then people were wanting to see some of my finished quilts. Disclaimer, most of my quilts are not here with me. They all were gifts for other people. So they're gone. I have a few here and a few that I'm working on here and a few of the other stuff that I'm doing. So I can show you that. I hope that, will count for that. I can also, I found pictures of the quilts that are no longer here, and I can blend those in, and can talk a little bit about those. And I hope that will work. I'm new to editing. Also, if you left a comment and I did not see it, please let me know. I'm trying to reply to every single comment you're making. But this whole thing is just really still brand new to me. I'm not used to, people even watching my videos. So commenting is like mind-blowing and new, and I'm still trying to figure out how this whole thing works on YouTube. So I think I got them all. If I missed your comment, please, 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 please let me know, and I will get to you as soon as possible, because I really am so grateful that you're taking the time and commenting on my things. So I really would like to show my appreciation by at least, acknowledging the comment and replying back to it. Right. That being said, I'm also still learning editing. But I am at it, I swear. I'm reading up and I'm practicing things, so it should get better. And if you notice, I have gotten, this thing. I remembered this time to change my settings on my camera so you can actually see more of where I am here. So this is my desk where I'm working. And, this is probably what you will see a lot of. Anyway, let's get to the introduction. So my name is B. Actually, it's Bridget, but B is the nickname that my husband gave me. I was always his busy little bee. I am his busy little bee. So everybody knows me by that, and everybody knows it's his nickname for me, and so that's what I go by, and that's why I'm into things with bees, as you will find out in a little bit here. What else? I used to be a stay-at-home mom for over 20 years to all my children. I have 3 children. And I loved it. I really, really loved it. I'm so grateful that we were fortunate enough for me to be able to stay home. It meant a lot of sacrifices in the way of we didn't have all the things because there was only one income. But for us, it was absolutely worth it. It was absolutely worth it. So I was staying home. Like I said, we homeschooled our kids. It was a lot of fun, and I wouldn't want to miss these years for anything. It's not the right fit for everyone. Let me just put that out there. Staying at home as a mom takes a lot. It's because, you're just by yourself and you're always wondering, am I doing this right and whatnot? So it's not suited for everyone. So if somebody doesn't want to stay home with the kids, I would never judge them because, like I said, it's a lot. It's not just a lot of work. It's and it doesn't mean that you love your kids more or less because you're home or you're not home. It doesn't mean that. It's just something that you're either able to do or you're not able to do. And we all are kind of suited differently for different things. And not all of us have the same resources that we can pull from to afford to also have only one income. That's another big, big reason. So don't, don't worry too much about. I don't know how to say that really. I think my English words are missing. It's just do the best you can. You'll be fine. You'll be fine as long as at the end of the day everybody's fed and happy, and that's what counts, and that's what makes family. You love each other, and you're there when you need it and when it counts. So there. And if you're at work and the kids are in school and whatever, every family is different, and there's room for all of that. Anyway, so I would never judge anybody on how they do things because we have enough pressure, all of us, and we all do things differently and are suited differently, and so it's ridiculous. We don't need to add pressure to ourselves because of certain things or what we think needs to happen or whatever. So, again, as long as at the end of the day everybody's fed and happy and knows they're loved, it's good. Right. That being said, I was an at-home mom to my 3 children. Personally, cooking is one of my hobbies. I love to do it, so I did it a lot. I still do it. My oldest son is married. He lives in Germany, where I am from. I was raised and born in Germany. I'm now living in Washington State. I never thought about coming to America. It just sort of happened, like a lot of things. So I came here to visit friends of mine that came back home to the States from being in the military in Germany. And I met my husband's parents. And my husband's parents thought that their son and I would hit it off. So they introduced us, and they were right. We absolutely did hit it off right from the start. It just, they didn't tell us that that's why, they introduced us. They just like, oh, hey, this is Bridget, this is Jose. And so we just absolutely hit it off. It was just really amazing. And we've been married now for 24 years this year. And we got married in 99 and we met in 98. It just all fit. You know how you sometimes meet somebody and it's like you've never not known them? It's like, that's how it was with my husband and I, and we're still like that. I know it's cliche, but we are best friends. If something good happens, I cannot wait to tell him about it. And I do have female friends, but he is absolutely top of the roost, my absolutely best friend. I'm just very, very, very lucky. Ow, my cat. Dude, don't scratch me. Anyway, so there's that, my husband. My oldest son is married in Germany, and they are expecting their first child in February this month. we're very excited about that. It's going to be a little boy. His name is going to be Leon. My middle daughter had a child already. She's married. They had their first baby last December. So this past December, little Rowan. He's now 2 months old, and I'm just smitten. I can't wait to meet Leon because I know I'm just going to be just as in love as with Rowan. And it's just, grandkids, y'all, they're the best. Anyway, what else? I am a complete introvert, so talking about me is always so awkward. But I'm gonna try. What else? I am okay. So I used to be a stay-at-home mom, and now that my husband is home and my children are, no longer needing me, my husband said, "You know what? Let me take over the household," which he has. He does a lot of the cooking, not all of it, because I still love to cook. So he does a lot of the cooking, and he does all the laundry, and he does all the dishes, or most of the dishes. And he helps me, with the household, because he said, I need my turn. I need my turn to do what I want to do, because all these years I've always been there for everybody else. I still, did little things here and there for me. I was always crafting. I was always making something. I used to design knitwear patterns for yarn manufacturers for a while. So I was always doing something creative, but he just thought I really should just see where it can take me, and for that I need time, and I need the freedom to actually go do this. So that's what he said, and I am doing that, and I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm very appreciative of it, because it's been with me all my life since I was little. And my school had an art branch. That's the branch I took, and so it's what I do, and I do a lot of different things. And I had a few of my things in art shows. So that was a lot of fun. And if you're trying to, like, for the longest time, I didn't think of myself as an artist, but people started calling me that. And it's, and then I got my pieces in a couple of art shows because I was brave enough to submit them. It gives you a lift. And so since then, I've started calling myself, I'm an artist. This is what I do. This is what I am. And this is honestly what I've always been. And if you are in the same boat, if you think, oh, the imposter syndrome is a real thing, and it hits everybody. It still hits me now and then, but just, don't listen to it. Do it. Just do it. It's worth it. And if you don't know what your medium is yet, that's totally normal. You need to go through different things, and you need to try a little bit of everything to find out what suits you best for your expression, and what you feel in your heart gets your story across the best. So if something doesn't work out in the beginning, do not give up. Just try it again, or try something different. Like try fabric, try watercolors, try acrylics, try sculpting. Eventually something will click, and eventually you will find your medium, and you will say, this is it. This is what makes me happy. This is what I meant to be doing. Okay. So do not give up. It's there, and you'll find it. You'll find it. You just need to keep looking. And so many people say, oh, I'm not an artist, and I can't even draw a stick figure. And dudes, really, everybody is. Most of what we do is just practice. For me, I'm lucky. Like I said, I now can sit and practice. A lot of people don't have that much time as I can devote to it, but do it when you have some. If you really feel that's what you need to be, that's your calling, just go and practice when you have some free time, because it's worth it, and you're worth it, and it will get you to improve. It's a skill that is learnable like anything else. I swear, I'm not lying. Just do it, okay? Right. What else about me? There's not much. There's not much more, really. I do a little bit of everything because I like it, and diversity, it's fun. So I knit, I sew, I sculpt. I do watercolors mostly. I'm not big on acrylics. So mostly I do watercolors. I learned bookbinding in school. I'm still doing that. And you will see bits and bobs popping up here and there of, the things I do if you stick around. Anyway, I guess that's it. If there's anything else you would like to know about me, just ask. I love to bake bread. I don't like necessarily to bake sweets unless it's like rich yeast dough, enriched yeast dough. But breads are my favorite. My son, who still lives here, he bakes the cookies. He's the sweet baker, and my daughter is the sweet baker, but she moved out, so my son took over to bake the cookies. Anyway, that's that. Let's get on with the quilts that you wanted to see. So my very, very first paper piecing quilt was the fox. I'm gonna blend in some photos, or a photo. I only have one photo of that thing. I made it because I wanted to see if I could, if that makes sense. Most of the things I do because I want to see if I can. That's really my motivation behind most things. Just like, well, how hard can it be? Sometimes I find out that it's too hard, or, that it's just not what I want to do or what I like to do. And sometimes I find out, oh, I stumbled in a new hobby. So my first paper piecing quilt was simply because I wanted to see if I could. And the fox was born. A friend of mine was expecting her first grandchild, and I don't know if it was her first. Can't remember. It's been quite a while. Anyway, so I started making that quilt. I made the little frame, and then I painted the fox with my watercolors and some Martha Stewart fabric medium, which is my favorite to use. You just mix it in your watercolors or in whatever paint you use, and it makes it into fabric paint. So I painted the center. I put the frame with the hexes around it and stitched it all together, and then just finished the quilt like I showed you in one of the other videos. The second paper piecing the second paper piecing quilt I've made was the orcas quilt, also baby quilt for a volunteer colleague of mine. I used to volunteer at the food bank for I think 10 years, and he and his wife were expecting their first baby, and I made him this quilt. Again, I made the surrounding, that frame, and then I painted the orcas with my watercolors and the fabric medium. And that came out quite nice. I actually really like the orcas. They're fun. I pulled up a picture on Google of different orca pods, and I took it off of there, and the markings on those orcas, you can actually find out which orca they are, because all those markings are individual to each orca. And he could look up which of the two orcas I actually painted on that. And orcas are his favorite animals, so that's why I picked those. And I really, really like orcas too. So the next one was the robot quilt. I made that for I think it was requested for an auction for charity, and then it never got picked up, so it ended up with a friend but I'm not really sure. I can't remember. I think it was an auction. Either way, I made the quilt. The center was again with my watercolors. This time I used squares. It's also paper pieced. It was a lot of fun to make. I painted the center with my watercolors again. I think I said that. And anyway, it was never picked up, so it ended up with my friend for her granddaughter. The next one was the Doctor Who quilt that I made for a friend of mine in exchange for some of the things she made. The surrounding was all flannel fabrics, and I wish I had made the center. And hey guys, my cats. We have 3. I wish I would have made the center and the surroundings a little bit more blue, but here we are. It's not. She really likes it, and that's what counts, I guess. But That's the Doctor Who quilt. Then I made the Bear and Bees, also for somebody I worked with at the volunteer thing. That's the time I tried to make a pattern with the little hexagons, and goodness gracious me, it's a pain because you have to actually pay attention to, okay, how many yellow ones did I put on? Should there be a black one now? And it's just, oi, I can't tell you how often I seam ripped back so I could, insert a black one that I forgot in the middle there. So personally, I like to keep my paper piecing quilts all happy and go lucky, and just, whatever comes along is going to be put on. I do, when I paper piece, I do look for, colors that would fit with the other colors or would contrast with the other colors to make it just a little bit more vibrant. But making a pattern, you have to pay attention. And apparently that's not my thing. At least, I mean, if I have to rip back, it's just not so much fun. So that was the bear quilt. And I made it Bear and Bees because, like I said, my nickname is Bee and my husband's nickname is Bear. And I figured, why not? Again, I painted the center with the watercolors. So then I made this little pillow, just because. And after that, I needed a break from paper piecing for a while. So I made the little blanket that you can see there with the pillow. That's a knitted blanket, and I knitted all the little squares, and then sewed them together, and then lined the blanket and put the little binding around it. And then I still don't know if it was my son or my husband, but one of them tried to be very helpful and put my blanket in the washer. And well, it was a wool blanket, so it came out towel-sized after that. And needless to say, I was heartbroken, but things happen, so I no longer have that blanket. I cut the lining off because that was still good to use, so I cut the lining off, and the rest of it went its way because I really didn't want to look at it. And then I made the woven blanket, and the woven blanket, let me get this out of the woven blanket I still have here. Let me go grab it. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. So this is the woven blanket. I have little pin looms. One is this size, and one, let me turn it around. Better way to look at it. So one pin loom is making this size of squares, and the other pin loom is making this size of squares, and the little one. So I made a couple, I think it's 180 of the large ones, and just a few of the little ones that I sewed on top because I think that kind of looks funny. And then I embroidered on some because the pin loom gives you really great like embroidery fabric. So I embroidered on some, and I did some crocheted flowers on the top of some because, why not? And I put a little bit of crochet in it too. It's what I do. Just to like, oh my God, there's like cat hair everywhere. It's just to liven it up a little. It's a little different. If I can find the photo, I will put it in of the whole quilt so you can see what it looks like. It's lined in this fabric, just sewed on the lining to, it's just nice, I think. It makes it warmer. And then I tied it. I tied this fabric. How you would tie a quilt. I tied it at all these intersections. I tied it down. So that's one. And after that, I wanted to try something new, so I started doing slow stitch quilts, and one for my son, who's like I said in Germany, which is where I am from, Bavaria, Germany. I was born and raised there. I don't know if I said that already. I'm still on cold meds in case you couldn't tell. So anyway, I made a slow stitch quilt for my son, and basically what I did is I found the size backing that I wanted. It's just like a lap quilt. I put it down on the floor, and then I put all kinds of fabric scraps just on top. I laid them all, some overlapped, some didn't, and I laid them all on top until the whole backing was covered. And then I thought, oh, and I did this without any instructions. I just, went for it, figuring, let me just see what happens if. So I figured, well, let me baste all this. And since my hexi quilts, I safety pin based, of course, my mind went right there. But that does not work. So if you want to do that, do not safety pin based. It won't work. I had to take all the safety pins out, put everything, nicely back down, and then hand baste it, all the different fabrics down to the backing. Otherwise, it shifted too much. You will not be happy with it. If you're doing it the way I did, like I said, I put the backing down, I put all the fabrics on top, and then basted it. If you just put one fabric at a time, and fill up the whole backing like that, then you probably don't have to baste it. But if you do it all at once, do baste it. I promise you'll be happier. You could probably machine baste it, just make your stitch really long, and then just machine baste it all down. But you'll be happier to do that. So I made Max's quilt, and that one went home when he came visit to me. It went home with him, and I liked it a lot. So I started a second one for myself. That's the first quilt I ever made for myself. It's this blue one. And for Max's quilt, I did every little patch, or every 2 patches, with the same stitch, and then I changed my stitches, and I did little crosses or little stars or whatever. And with this one, I wanted it to be different looking. I loved the texture the different stitches give you, but for this one I wanted it a little different. So I did just running stitch, and I just got into this. Oh, I love the running stitch. So I just did running stitches, and I started by, again, I put my backing down, I put all my fabric overlapping until it's all covered, and I basted it. Then I went all the way around the edges, and I finished my edgings first with this one. And I don't know if I just got lucky that it didn't bubble on the edges when I quilted it in the end, or, I'm not sure. But you may want to quilt it first and then do the edging. So with this one, I did it the other way around, and I guess I just really got lucky. But anyway, I didn't want the, all the texture. I wanted some texture, but not all of the texture. I wanted it flat. So with this one, I started quilting up on one end and did the running stitch all the way down, tied off my thread, came back up here, and then went all the way back down again. Because if you go this way, your fabric will get pulled this way on that row, and then the next row goes up here, so your fabric will get pulled that way. And so it gives you these little ripples along your fabric, which is really cute, and I really, really liked it. But I wanted to have this flatter because I had other plans for this one, so I just did them all in the same direction. Okay. And I incorporated things from other projects that I had. This was from a different project. I just, cut it out, and I sewed it on here. I thought it would just be fun to have that on here. This is an old handkerchief that I liked, and I sewed that on. And this fabric I got from a friend of mine. It's all these little birds. I love birds. I have birds. I used to breed little zebra finches when I was little, when I was a teenager. I'm sorry. And so she gave me this, and I wanted some of this on here, and I didn't want to embroider over it just with a running stitch, so I ended up embroidering this frame around it, which is a lot of fun. I really like this one. And here, in this panel, I have the white fabric, and under the white fabric are different fabrics. So I made these little stars thinking I cut them out in the end, but I ended up not doing that because I kind of liked the, I like the way this looks, so I didn't cut it out in the end. I might still do that, but who knows. And there's a little crochet one again. Let's see. This one had this little patch going over and I didn't want to cut it off, so I just sewed it onto the back. Let's see. Here is the back of the frame. And I'm thinking of maybe putting a photo transfer on there, maybe just a photo of my husband and I. I'm not sure. I will see. Still thinking about that, needing to do a couple of test runs. I don't want it to go through to the front when I transfer it. These little bees, I designed the stamp, and then this really nice lady in Australia hand carved the stamp for me. Her Etsy shop is Ulla and her brothers, and she makes amazing stamps. That woman is just mind-blowing. The things she carves is just, I mean, really awesome. So she made that stamp for me, and I stamped it all over the background, like an all over design, with little bees, because it was too boring just having the plain fabric there. So I did that, and there's this quilt, and I'm, like I said, I don't know if I already have blended it in, or I will blend in the whole photo of the whole quilt so you can see that. So that was done, and I started another one for a friend of mine, and this is one again where I just slow stitch all over, different stitches, different textures. Let me put it this way around. There's a little fly stitch. Let me find some other panels. Here the owls. Let me put it this way. These little owls, I just, stitched around every one of those little owls. I think they're so cute. What else? There's a hexie. There's little kittens that I stitched around. All these feathers, I just stitched around every one of those feathers. And the butterflies. And there's more fly stitches. So there's just, running stitches. There's different stitches. This is just, however the mood strikes me is what I do. Mostly running stitches and, the pineapple. I love the pineapple. I love this pineapple fabric. So this is for a very old friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. And so I still work on that one. I've been working on it for quite a while, and then I put it away again for a while, and you know how it goes. So that's another one of my quilts. It's not done, so I cannot show the finished thing. What else? What else do I do? Well, in between I make coasters. This is a little, just a coaster. My cat sat on it. And what else? I keep every single scrap. I sew my scraps together into little blocks like this, and eventually I will probably sew all these blocks together, when I have time, 20 years from now. Here's another slow stitching project that I'm on. I'm so sorry. So these are hand-dyed fabrics that I eco-dyed, and not this one, but this, and you can sort of, I origami folded this and then just, slow stitched it on here. A couple of paper piecing bits. Here's another. They're just random fabrics that I don't know. This is a rust dyed fabric I have, coffee and rust. This was coffee and rust dyed by myself, and this was black bean dyed, I think. So these are just little bits that are around that I like, that I put together, and eventually I might, when I have more that aren't all the same colors, I want to stretch them out a little, then I'm gonna sew them all together to make a blanket out of it. The back is all just plain, and these two, that was a practice. I just wanted to see how, I don't like the way I sewed this together, so that's going to be different. The backs are just plain, and these consist of the front, the back, and then a layer of flannel in between. But I may change that to no flannel in between, because I don't know, they are a little stiff, so I might just put no flannel in between. And these are just little slow stitched bits and bobs. When I have some time, or when I don't want to work on any of my other projects, then one of this will do. Right, what else? Oh, the art shows that I told you about. So this was one of them. It's my fiber art. I made these hearts. There were a whole bunch. I think 16 or 17 altogether. And so I made the pattern for these, and then I cut them out of different fabrics and just, made little hearts and framed them, and they were in the art show. And most of them sold. There's still a few left, but most of them sold. And these two are mine that I have personally here in my house. I need to give them a good dusting. Anyway, so there's that. What else? Let's see. Oh, this was another art show piece. This little, I call it Dream House. It's made with paper mache. I made the house shape, and then I paper cut all these different layers there and put them in the, hole there. I don't know if you can. Yeah, I think you could see that. And then I gave it little wings on the back, and I painted it all, and I put the little stars and clouds on, and I named it Dream House, and my cats got to it. So this will stay forever, perpetually here now, because I'm not. Maybe if I replace the frame, it will go out. I do these little things. This is some more slow stitching projects of mine. This little flower my husband found on the road, actually, so he brought it home for me. He's like, you can do something with it. So I did. I made a little cactus, and it's now a cactus flower. So, and this little guy. I made a whole bunch of these little things. I might blend in a couple of photos too of the other ones I did in this kind of venue. I make journals. This is a little traveler's journal I made for myself. I use mostly recycled things in my art. Like I think 98% is recycled. So this, we buy our flour and our sugar in big 25, 50-pound bags, and this, they come in little paper bags. So that's what I use for my paper a lot. And I painted this because life is a dream. Most days. Sometimes it's a nightmare. But I think we all have those days. What else can I show you? I'm trying to think. Oh, here's another journal that I'm working in right now. So that's also hand-dyed paper, just another journal I make. What else? Some of my watercolors, but I don't have any here right now. Oh, here's one within arm's reach. Here's one, and there is another one. So I just recently made this. I tried out some new watercolors I got for Christmas, and there's it goes this way around. There you go. There's some goldfish, and here's my Frida. So these are some things I made. What else? I think that's it. Oh, here, that was another, not this one. The things that I actually submitted to the art. Let me go see if I can go grab them. Right, so I'm back. Here they are. The ones that were in the show actually sold, so I no longer have those. But here are some other ones I made. It's just tea bags that I painted on with my watercolors. And this is actually my daughter's dog. I still need to frame this one and give it to her. His name is Scout. There's one. And a little polar bear. And this little guy. And my cat Radish. And some mushrooms. So those are some of the things I still have. I have other things. Oh, I embroider on old photos. It's also in the back. I didn't grab that one though. So you just have to imagine that. Right now I am working on this, which is the mystery sew along, the winter mystery sew along over on Instagram, hosted by Nordic Crafter and Stitching Notes. It's a lot of fun. I still haven't finished today's prompt, and then we're done with week 1, but this wasn't too much work, and usually it's done on a machine, so it's written for machine sewing. I just do it by hand. If you still want to craft along, there's still time to do that. It's only 1 week, and honestly, this could all be done in an afternoon if you stitch it on the machine rather than by hand. It's a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to see what it actually is when it's done. Here's a couple more things that I've done, like little patches. Like I said, most of the stuff I've done isn't here anymore. It's gone. But now you kind of know what I do. You've seen the quilts I have made. What else? What else? That's it. Couple more small things on fabric that I embroidered. But, you know, this is what I do. Just do what makes you happy. And, you know, because life is short. And as far as I know, we only have this one life. So take a bit of time and do what makes you happy in this life, okay? You deserve it. You are allowed to do that. And I will be your biggest cheerleader, I promise. Okay? So, again, I'd love to see some of the things that you make or that you give your time to. And I do believe giving our time is the biggest present you can give anybody, because you're never going to get that time back. It's a true gift to give your time to somebody. So thank you all so much for giving me your time and for, you know, being here with me and listening to me prattle on forever. I don't even know how long this video is already. Oh my God. Anyway, these are the things that you probably will see me make and that I can make videos about, because this is what I do. If there's anything you ever want to know, let me know. I'm happy to try out new things. I'm always up for experimentation. So if you have an idea and say, Bridget, you know, let's do this, and I'm up for it most of the time. Probably if I have time, I'll give it a go. And you know, that's pretty much what I do. I hope that gave you a bit of an idea who I am and what you can expect here. Leave me some comments. I would love to get to know all of you a little better. And again, if you want to see some more, let me know. Just ask. I might have a video, or I can make a video. I might have photos of something. Anyway, let's do this. Thanks so much for subscribing. Have a great weekend. If you are a football fan, then happy Super Bowl weekend, and I hope your team wins. I'm not invested in this. I'm a baseball girl all the way. But I am there for the snacks. Anyway, I hope I will have the privilege to see you again in my next video. Talk to you later. Bye.